In my opinion, the Han Solo standalone film was a damn good movie. It definitely surprised me and surpassed all my expectations, but you know what would be even better? A Boba Fett movie. We already got confirmation that it's in the works, but just imagine a film all about the most mysterious bounty hunter in the galaxy. I made a video before about an Obi-Wan standalone film, but now I'll tell you why a Boba Fett movie needs to happen. Let's start off with the most obvious reason. Boba Fett is just a badass character. Ever since his appearance in Empire Strikes Back, fans adored the mysterious, dented helmet-wearing Mandalorian. Unfortunately, Boba met an untimely end when he was tossed into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi, but that wasn't truly the end of Boba Fett. When the prequels came into fruition, we found out that a notorious bounty hunter named Jango Fett was the mold for a clone army for the Galactic Republic, and the only thing he asked for in return was an unaltered clone of his own that he could raise as his son. That son grew up to be Boba Fett, and after Jango met his end by the hands of Mace Windu, Boba swore vengeance against the Jedi. There have been many comics and speculations as to how Boba followed in his father's footsteps after Attack of the Clones, but only one outcome became canon when the Clone Wars TV show featured a young Boba Fett teaming up with the likes of Bossk, Aurra Sing, and other bounty hunters to cause disruption for the Jedi. During his time in the spotlight, Boba would go on to attempt to assassinate Mace Windu, get locked up in a high-security prison, break out of that prison, and pursue his life as a bounty hunter. The movie would take place after Revenge of the Sith, and the ending would meet up with the ending of Han Solo. We can see the evolution of clones being turned into stormtroopers, donning a hybrid armor set of the two, suitable for new recruits and scattered 501st clone troopers. The movie would start off with Boba Fett tinkering with his weapons and armor, repainting over Jango's gear. For each piece of gear he looks at, we get flashbacks of his younger days with his father. When he looks over the dent in his helmet, we get a flashback of a young Boba Fett fighting Cad Bane Western cowboy style, which results in Boba's helmet getting shot and Cad Bane dying. Boba would continue to upgrade his arsenal, including a rocket-shooting wrist gauntlet and a new blaster, and he is also seen tinkering with a ship in his spare areas of the film. During the movie, Boba would be consistently conflicted, hearing Jango's words of wisdom ring through his head, teaching him how to deal with certain situations. Of course, Boba would be voiced by Tamora Morrison, and he would also reprise his role as Jango and other characters. Boba would haul out on Coruscant in the underground sector of 1313, where he had been honing his skills since he escaped prison. He would accept small contracts that would help him get by, but it wouldn't be enough. He wouldn't want to just be any bounty hunter. He wants to be the best. So because of this, he would leave Coruscant and seek out the Hutts for higher contracts. He would travel to Jabba's palace on Tatooine in search of a job. Jabba knew Boba as Jango's son because of his father's legacy and his notoriety throughout, but he would have to climb the ranks until he is the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. During one of his missions, Boba Fett would reunite with his old friend Bossk to hunt down a Wookiee warrior known as Tarful. Boba and Bossk would compete with each other in friendly competition for the Wookiee's head, and Fett would deliver the killing shot. As a reward and a symbol of respect from Bossk, Bossk would cut off one of Tarful's braids and give it to Boba to wear around his armor as a trophy for beating a Trandoshan in the custom sport. There could even be a scene during his bounty hunter adventures where he is attacked by IG-88, who accepted an assassination contract from Jabba the Hutt to test Boba Fett's skills. The Mandalorian would win, of course, sparking a feud with the IG units that he had in his lore. Boba's bounty hunting adventures would take him all over the galaxy, showing how he could spread his name throughout and truly be feared. And maybe he could even get into some fights with rogue Jedi to show that he's an experienced Jedi killer. A couple years would pass and Boba would be a respected bounty hunter. He would be Jabba's go-to for an important job, but he wouldn't be the only one in need of Boba's talents. The Empire would soon request Boba Fett's assistance for a full-scale invasion on Kamino. The clone breeding facility has been a threat to the Empire for some time because the Kaminoans would have already created a new army of clone troopers to rebel against the Empire. Darth Vader would personally track Boba Fett down since Anakin Skywalker was present during the Battle of Geonosis and had conflicts with him during the Clone Wars. He would travel to Tatooine with a squad of 501st Commandos, and when his boot touches the sandy ground as he exits his ship, Vader's fist clenches and we hear Tusken Raider roars in the backdrop. We then see a scene where Vader enters the palace and demands Boba's help. When Jabba refuses to tell him because he wants Fett all to himself, Vader would choke Jabba like he did in the comics until he got what he wanted. The criminals protecting Jabba would attempt to fight back, but the 501st Commandos would shoot them down instantly with insane precision. Jabba would then tell Vader about the bounty hunter's whereabouts. Vader would meet with Boba and request his help in the eradication of the clone rebellion on Kamino for a hefty price. Considering Boba was practically raised on Kamino, he would know the ins and outs of the facility. The task was to kill the Kaminoans, destroy the clone tech, and bring back all the clone batches back to him on his Star Destroyer, but most importantly, leave no one alive. Boba accepts the offer but requests a battalion of troopers. As Boba prepares to leave for Kamino, we see him finalize his project, a ship called Slave One, and it's revealed all refined and redesigned. We then cut to an all-out war between stormtroopers and clone troopers on Kamino. The battle would be so intense, and halfway through we'd see Boba Fett infiltrating the cloning facility, using his weapons and tools to decimate his clone brethren. TIE fighters and ARC ships would have dogfights in the air, the facility would be taking heavy fire from Star Destroyers above, it would just be complete chaos. Boba would assassinate the Kaminoans, destroy the cloning technology, and would disintegrate all the clone data with his flamethrower. He wouldn't want his father's legacy to continue on with the clone army, so to honor Jango, he would leave the cloning facility burning. He would then get a report from a commander that a group of ARC gunships would be trying to make an escape. Boba would enter Slave One, and in an epic scene, Boba Fett would decimate the clone ships. He finally would use a seismic charge to incinerate all of his enemies. A scene with Slave One in action would just be awesome. He would take off into hyperspace and he would communicate with Vader on his ship, telling him that he destroyed the data samples, and for the damages to his ship caused by the seismic charge, he would demand triple his reward. Vader wouldn't be pleased with this report, but it would also show him that Boba wasn't afraid of anyone, and that made him a powerful ally in the future if need be. So many things would go into making a standalone movie for Boba Fett. A flashback of his fight with Cad Bane, giving him the true edge of a bounty hunter, fixing up his armors and weapons, a cool-ass Slave One scene, getting involved with Jabba the Hutt, fighting IG-88, killing Tarful with Bossk, fighting Jedi, making a name for himself throughout the galaxy, grabbing the attention of the Empire, eradicating a clone rebellion on Kamino just like in Battlefront 2, and just being a badass. To really give Boba the backstory and character muscle he truly deserves, a standalone movie like this would be a great idea. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.